Welcome, my dear learners. Before we start today's session, I want to apprise you about one of the important traits and characteristics of a student and a learner, that is Bhako Dhyanam. Swan is a bird, it is known as Bak. Bhako Dhyanam means concentration. Every student should be focused as well as concentrated towards their goal or task. बाघ अपने शिकार यानी कि मछली के लिए एक टांग पर तब तक इंतजार करता है और अडिग खड़ा रहता है जब तक भी अपने शिकार को, उस मछली को हासिल नहीं कर लेता और पकड़ नहीं लेता. Therefore, every student should have same concentration till their task is accomplished. Therefore, understand today's topic with full concentration. Today's topic under discussion is cash flow statement. It is one of the important tools of financial statements analysis as well as important financial statement. The learning outcomes are meaning of cash flow statement, format of preparation of cash flow statement, various activities, analysis of financial statement, rules of accounting standard 3, accounting standard 4, and indirect method is used for preparation of cash flow statement, meaning and items included in cash and cash equivalent. Let us first of all start and understand what is meaning of cash flow statement. Cash flow statement is a summary of all the cash inflows and outflows during one financial year of any company. Cash flow statement includes broadly three types of activities as shown here in this flow chart. Cash flow statement has operating activity, investing activity as well as financing activity. While preparing cash flow statement, we follow indirect method. Broadly, there are two methods, direct method and indirect method. But in CBSE, we follow indirect method and accounting standard 3 is adopted to prepare cash flow statement. Accounting standard 3 and indirect method is used to prepare cash flow statement. Three activities which have to be strictly followed in the same order. Means while preparing cash flow statement, first activity is operating activity, second is investing activity, and then we show financing activity. This is about meaning, about accounting standard 3, the method we follow, and various activities. When we prepare operating activity, the items which are taken from balance sheet are reserves and surplus, current liabilities and current assets. While preparing investing activity, from balance sheet we take only non-current assets, means all the fixed tangible assets like land, building, plant, machinery, furniture, their increase or decrease is shown under investing activity of only non-current assets including non-current or long-term investments. When we are preparing financing activity, from balance sheet we take share capital which are of two parts, that is two types, equity share capital and preference share capital is shown in financing activity. Similarly, in non-current liabilities, mainly your long-term borrowing components which includes debentures, bank loan, mortgage loan or public deposit. These items are also shown in financing activity. The basic purpose of preparing this, as we already have understood, we wanted to know inflow and outflow of cash from operating activity, from investing activity, and from financing activity during one financial year. Accounting Standard 4. This applies to proposed dividend and its treatment, which would be discussed in detail while we will continue with practical sums. Next is about cash and cash equivalents. Cash and cash equivalent means highly liquid assets which can be easily and readily converted into cash with very negligible reduction or loss of its value. Items like cash, bank balance, demand drafts, or drafts or checks in hand are shown under the title cash and cash equivalent. As informed earlier, while preparing cash flow statement, we show inflow and outflow of cash from three major activities, that is operating activity, investing activity, and then finally financing activity. Let us understand one by one. Part A, operating activity, which items become part of inflow. When we prepare cash flow statement, one more thing we need to keep into mind, that is whether the company is finance company, means the company which deals with mutual funds, with loans, with money, whereas second type of companies are non-finance companies, means trading companies which deal into manufacturing or trading. Therefore, the inflow from operating activity for finance company, these items will appear in the inflow for finance company. First is interest receipt, dividend receipt, and sale of securities. This leads to inflow of cash for finance company under operating activity, and under operating activity for trading company, increase in current liabilities or decrease in the current assets also lead to inflow of cash. Means it brings the changes in the working capital. So any decrease in the current liability or increase in the current asset items are also shown in operating activity as a positive items. Contrary to which, if it is a finance company, we need to see the outflow aspect. Any payments which are made towards interest or any kind of purchase of securities by finance company is considered as an outflow under the heading of operating activity. Whereas if it is a trading company, that means non-finance company, any decrease in the current liabilities or increase in the current assets are shown as a negative item under operating activity, and this affects the working capital. Switching to the second activity, that is part B, investment activity. Investment activity on inflow and outflow, there is no issue whether the company is finance company or company is a trading company. This bifurcation, finance and trading company की bifurcation सिर्फ operating activities के point of view से ज़्यादा important है. Moving on, when we are talking about investment activities, कौन सी items inflow हैं and outflow हैं, just have a glimpse over it. Sale of any kind of fixed assets, may it be tangible assets like land, building, plant, machinery, furniture, etc., or intangible assets like patents, etc. If there is any sale of intangible or tangible assets, that lead to inflow of money. Whereas if we are selling out the long-term investments, that is non-current investments, that also brings cash in the business. So it is a part of investment activity. Any kind of interest received or rent received or received, this will also be part of investment activity. Now, generally there remains a confusion in the mind of students कि हम अपने assets को जब बेच रहे हैं, हमारे assets कम हो रहे हैं, then how it is inflow? So keep one thing into mind when we are studying all these activities or we are talking about any item, we have not to see the impact on the item. हमें उस आइटम का इम्पैक्ट कैश फ्लो के ऊपर देखना है. We have not to study the impact of an item, like asset increase हो रहे हैं या नहीं हो रहे हैं, liabilities increase हो रही हैं या नहीं हो रही या decrease हो रही हैं. We have not to take into consideration the upward or downward movement of an asset, but we have to see the impact of upward or downward movement of asset on cash. For example, अगर आप लैंड को सेल करेंगे, नो डाउट एसेट कम हुआ, बट आपके पास कैश आया. सो दिस इज व्हाई कैश सेल ऑफ फिक्स्ड एसेट्स इज एन इनफ्लो. सिमिलरली आपके पास कुछ इन्वेस्टमेंट्स थी 50 लाख रुपीस की, जब आप उनको सेल कर रहे हैं, इन्वेस्टमेंट कम हुई है, बट ऑन कंट्रारी टू इट कैश का इनफ्लो हुआ. दिस सिमिलरली interest received, rent received and dividend received are part of investment activity. क्योंकि आपको रेंट कब मिलेगा? आपने कोई बिल्डिंग किसी को रेंट पे दी है, कोई कमर्शियल साइट है, कोई रेजिडेंशियल साइट है, इफ यू हैव रेंटेड इट टू समवन, तो आपने इन्वेस्टमेंट की and in that return you are getting a rent. Similarly when you talk about interest received or dividend received, मेरी कंपनी है टाटा एंड सन्स और टीसीएस इन्फोसिस में कुछ शेयर्स खरीदे, तो जब मेरी कंपनी ने शेयर्स खरीदे, दैट इज पार्ट ऑफ सी हियर परचेज ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट, सी लीड टू आउटफ्लो. जब मेरी कंपनी ने शेयर्स किसी दूसरी कंपनी के खरीदे, दैट लीड टू आउटफ्लो, मनी बाहर गई, बट उस इन्वेस्टमेंट के ऊपर मेरे को कंपनी डिविडेंड पे करेगी, so that is an inflow. This is why dividend received is an inflow. Similarly, if we purchase any fixed assets, आपने land, building, plant, machinery, furniture or goodwill, if you have purchased these kind of assets, आपकी money बाहर गई, assets no doubt increase हुए, तो हमें asset या liability के ऊपर impact नहीं देखना, इस item का cash के ऊपर क्या impact है, that need to be studied in this chapter. Therefore, this is the reason that dividend and rent received or interest received is a inflow. Next activity and the final is financing activity, that is part C. With regard to the inflow from this activity, whenever company will issue any shares, may it be equity share or preference shares, हम shares या बैंक से लोन लेंगे, डिबेंचर इशू करेंगे, इक्विटी शेयर इशू करेंगे, preference shares issue करेंगे. Why we issue them? Because by issuing we will get money. So it is a source of inflow. Therefore, issue of equity preference shares, issue of debentures, हमने बैंक से लोन लिया, और there is an increase in security premium. These all things lead to inflow of cash and they are shown under financing activity. On the other hand, outflow. These items, reverse of these items lead to the outflow. आपने buy back कर लिए अपने shares, मार्केट में जो शेयर्स इशू किए थे, when you take it back, that is known as buy back. buy back करोगे तो बाहर मनी का आउटफ्लो होगा. आपने बैंक का लोन रीपे कर दिया, तो मनी बाहर गई, लायबिलिटी कम हुई, so that is an outflow. आपने डिबेंचर्स या प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स रिडीम किए, रिडीम्पशन मींस रीपेमेंट, that lead to outflow of money. Any kind of interest or dividend your company has paid to those people who have invested in your company. जब आप कंपनी ने शेयर इशू किए, जब कंपनी ने बैंक से लोन लिया, जब कंपनी ने डिबेंचर इशू किए, in all this situation पैसा इन हुआ, but you have to pay dividend to preference shareholders, that is an outflow. You have to pay interest on bank loan, that is an outflow. You have to pay dividend to preference and equity shareholders. There is an interim dividend also. And sometimes debentures or preference shares, they are repaid on premium. That also leads to outflow. So these are broadly the items which are shown under these three activities and how inflow and outflow is generated. Last, when we compile these activities in a format of cash flow statement, very important point, your answer from each of these three activities can be positive or it can be negative. From each activity we can have a positive answer, we can have negative answer. Similarly, from this activity we can have positive answer, we can have negative answer. Positive answer is written as cash from, means it is a flow inside, so it is known as cash from, and then name of activity. And if answer comes negative, it is written as cash used. We have to be careful about it. Negative answers will be shown in the brackets. All the negative answers will be shown in bracket. Final word. So be very attentive and be concentrated. I am again repeating: operating activity, investing activity, financing activity. The answer from each different activity can be positive. It is known as cash flow. It can be negative, which is written in bracket, is termed as cash used. But all the three answers can never have same sign. Means it is not possible that when you are solving cash flow statement sum, complete sum, so we have positive answer from all the three, or we have negative answers from all three. So there would be a combination, contrasting. There can be two positive, one negative, two negative, one positive.